Broadcasting from the Symphony Studios in Marietta, Georgia, it's time for the Technology Harmony Podcast, brought to you by Symphony Technology Solutions. Tune in every week as we spotlight the very best minds in our industry. Now here are your hosts.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 31st episode of the Technology Harmony Podcast, brought to you by Symphony Technology Solutions. I am your host today, Katie Galley, and in the Symphony studio with me, I have Director of Smart Cities and IoT with Integrated Network Concepts, Anthony Veri. How are you doing, Anthony?
Doing good this Monday. How about yourself?
I am doing awesome. We were just talking about it's the best day of the week. So we get to record on a Monday, best day. Well, thank you, Anthony, so much for taking the time to speak with us and share your story.
That sounds good. So I started off several years back, well, more than that, in IT and communications and dealing with T1s and T3s and OC3s and phone systems. And as internet became more prevalent and grew and bandwidth grew, we saw telephone services and phone systems lead towards voice over IP and dealing with IP networks. And I made the transition over into wireless back in 2015. And there I was building out wireless networks, designing and engineering wireless networks, and we also sold all the products to integrators and installers of these components all over the world. And what I found was working with all these different manufacturers, I got trained and certified through a lot of different vendors, and I always had a passion for technology, and it started with smart home technology. And then when I was dealing with these larger networks and wireless communication, I realized that this was the infrastructure that was building out what we now call today smart cities. So then I had some clients and customers reaching out to me and asking my opinion about certain manufacturers or how certain technologies worked. And that's where I realized I had a unique skill set and knowledge and experience that people were looking for. So that's how it progressed into the role of into smart cities, smart buildings, and IoT networks.
Yeah. And so, Anthony, I mean, with the nature of what you do, kind of within the parameters of this journey that you've taken, can you define for us what a smart city actually is?
So that's a unique question. A lot of people want to know what is the true definition of a smart city. There's many people that have defined it, and I'm not here to say who's right or who's wrong. Yeah. But I look at a smart city as instilling a new culture because you have to change the current status quo of how cities operate and go about projects, selecting projects, and understanding what the citizens need and want in a particular city, because every city is different. A smart city won't be the same for one city versus another. So always engage your citizens, get their feedback. You look at your big partners in the city, meaning your current job employers. You want to keep them happy as well and keep them there so that there are jobs for your citizens. And within the culture, what I'm saying about the smart city culture, it's defining a culture that will lead towards continuous improvement. You're never just a smart city and then you're done. Once you start on the journey, you're going to continuously improve, and you don't have to do everything in year one or in year two, but you use your funds wisely to better your city for citizens, visitors, and current employers.
So it makes sense. I mean, that continuous improvement with the advent of technology, kind of staying ahead of it. And so, Anthony, from your time, then you said you made that shift into wireless in 2015, and now have grown into the role that you're in with integrated network concepts with the director of smart cities and IoT. So can you share with us a little bit what exactly integrated network concepts does and how your role fits into their overall mission?
Yeah, so Integrated Network Concepts is a systems integrator and a managed service provider that helps companies when it comes to IT procurement, IT support, disaster recovery, data storage, data replication, and obviously we know how important cybersecurity has been over the past few years. So when I came on board, it was to help expand their business portfolio and what we can do here at Integrated Network Concepts. So it's led into smart cities, smart buildings, IoT networks, but not only that technology and expanding the smart technology at the edge, but before you do any of this, to fully assess the networks that you're currently dealing with. When I've dealt with cities over the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of their infrastructure is outdated, end of life, or unsupported. They have vulnerabilities. You've seen a lot of ransomware attacks happening over the past 5 years across the US and actually all over the world. So before you look to invest in some of this smart technology, how is your current network performing? Is it secure? Are there updates that need to be made even before you look at this other technology? And a majority of the time, the answer is yes. There are improvements, upgrades, new infrastructure that is needed and warranted based on these network and security assessments that we conduct.
Okay. And so going into these assessments then, and then reflecting back on, talking about the smart cities and then talking about smart buildings, can you go into with these assessments then how, I guess, what would make a smart and healthy building, and then specifically too within the last couple of months, how necessary it is to define what that is and looking forward with COVID precautions, I guess, that smart, healthy building?
Yes. So as smart cities progressed, then it got more granular and looked at smart buildings. So in buildings, there's a lot of data that has not been collected or not been used to improve building efficiency when it comes to energy consumption. And now because of the pandemic, we're looking for more information on what's happening in these buildings. How many people are in the building? How clean is the air in the building? How clean are surfaces? Is anybody coming into the building that is sick, even if it's not with a coronavirus? Do they have a flu? Do they have a temperature, a severe cough? So this is where these questions started being asked. And then we have the technology to develop solutions that could start collecting this type of data and portraying it on a platform or on a dashboard so that the insight from the data can now be seen and now action can be taken to where maybe you're not letting in someone with a temperature of 102, or you're breaking up a gathering of 100 people in a certain area in a hallway or something. So it gives us the insights that we previously were not collecting in buildings. And so there's a lot of options. But as smart technology was being used in buildings over the past few years, security was never a topic. So manufacturers come to the market with technology, and it's very competitive. So the first one in market is trying to gain the market share to get more revenue, to increase research and development of new products. So security was always put on the back burner. And now we're realizing that they're very open, a lot of these so-called smart buildings. So now there's a lot of emphasis and questions around cybersecurity, because when you digitize any information so that you can collect it more easily, and it traverses over IP networks, that's where it becomes vulnerable and your cyber risk goes up. So we look at the cyber security aspect of any technology or any digital device that's in the network. And then when it comes to smart, healthy buildings, there's a lot of solutions out there that most people don't know about. And a lot of them say that they've been tested, but you don't know by what laboratory, or you don't know what the laboratory setting or the environment was that it was tested. So yes, it might work in a 2x4 foot box, but will it work in a hotel room? Will it work in an airplane? So this is where I work with infectious disease doctors that do this type of testing to validate the efficacy of certain products on the market that are saying that they do something to combat or eradicate coronaviruses and other germs and bacteria.
Wow. I guess that's just necessary now, right? I mean, with, like you were saying, the advent of technology is constantly shifting. And of course, nobody could have thought what was going to happen in the last couple of months, but now looking forward, okay, how is that going to impact smart buildings? And so looking forward, then it's the that control, and specifically then security and access control, but I guess in a whole new kind of light.
For sure. And there's a lot of interest now in smart buildings because the pandemic caused a lot of people and a lot of businesses to vacate these buildings. So what can we do to make them safe, or to build the trust level with the public, to have them come back into these buildings and feel safe to work, to shop, to go to school, and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Anthony, specifically now with integrated network concepts, looking forward and kind of in the midst of this and navigating what's next for smart buildings, what's next for you guys? What's on the horizon? Do you have anything coming up soon?
So it's unique because every customer is different. Mm-hmm. So you listen to your customers and listen to their pain points, and then we could come up with options to help solve those types of problems. So some people, it might be looking more at their cybersecurity policies. What's their written information security policy? Do they have a disaster recovery plan? They're trying to reduce downtime. So when you ask the right questions, you're able to find out how you could help your customer in certain ways. So that's what we mainly focus on. We always focus on the customer journey, and we have customers that are in different stages of their network build out, cybersecurity, data storage. So these are a wide variety of topics that we cover with our clients, and to specify one or another, I think I've seen the biggest probably over the past few months has been with all their remote users and ensuring connectivity so that workers can still work as much as they were before. So ensuring network uptime.
Your integrated network, right? That's in your right in your name, network concepts. So it works out. That's good.
Sure.
Well, Anthony, if someone wanted to learn more about you, more about your company, how might they do that?
You could find out more about me and integrated network concepts at integrated.net. That's our website. You can find us on LinkedIn too at Integrated Network Concepts. And again, my name is Anthony Veri. I'm on LinkedIn. On Twitter, you can find me at Veri Smart Cities. And those are the best ways to reach out.
Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. To learn more about our guest and their company, check out the show notes for the relevant links. If you would like to learn more about us here at Symphony, of course, subscribe to our podcast on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and Facebook at Symphony Technology Solutions and on Instagram at Symphony Tech Solutions. Here at Symphony, our ultimate goal is to make harmonious music out of all the technological noise. And we hope today's episode helped in doing just that. See you next time.